This is what it's like doing low-level dungeons as a shaman main, but playing a mage with a shaman tank who says this is his first dungeon tanking on shaman. Once he said that, it all made sense. Someone got slept. No trimmer. Still no trimmer. Still no trimmer. Yep, there we go. Drop trimmer person. Yep. That's how you know you're with a rookie shaman. This spot, you want to line of sight the raptors because they do a shriek for help or whatever. If they're not line of sight, they can pull extra mobs from really far away. Oh look, there's a Druid of the Fang that got aggroed from one of the shrieks from the raptors, and then we got two more raptors on top of, you know, already kind of overpooling for this priest because he's out of mana. I use my Nova. I really don't got anything. I'm pretty low on mana. Throw down a blizzard. Okay, and they're dead. So that was a close call. There's a lot of close calls in this dungeon. But the overall damage on the bottom right looks decent. I think the rogue could be towards the top a little bit more. Maybe his gear's a little low. He's clearing out the whole top part, which you don't have to, but whatever. He's a tank. We're following him, so. I gave this priest freaking water, and he's not drinking. So there is an issue that I did notice. The shaman's waiting for him to drink so he can pull. And now here, these raptors can definitely pull the raptors across to the right. I'm over here like, come on, bro, pull more. You know, you bring a mage to a dungeon, I think you should at least pull 3 to 4 mobs so I can use my living flame and have better value. And I think here he goes for, let's see, I'm waiting him to pull all 3 and he only pulled 2. I'm like, dude, come on, just give me what I want. So I pulled the 3rd. And then these raptors can aggro the 2 up the ways right there when they shriek. But we killed them fast enough to where they did not aggro. Can't remember which way. I didn't even notice. I didn't even notice he said that. Oh, dude, this is good. So not only do we have a new shaman tank, we have somebody either new to classic or doesn't normally play Horde and they play Alliance, and Alliance don't really do Wailing Caverns as much as Horde does when you're leveling. You know, they come out here maybe for like 1 run. I'm sure it's a pain to get a group going over here and get everybody over here. Probably it's the same as Dead Mines. Is like you have all these DPS that want to do Dead Mines, but no healers or tanks want to do it. And I guess while I'm thinking about it, so you know, it takes me, I knew I was gonna ding there, so I didn't drink, but you know, it takes a lot of mana for me to do big damage, big AOE as a mage. And I don't want to waste my mana on, you know, 2 or 3 mobs. I really want at least 4 to 5 to 6, just like something. So there we go, another 2 mobs. And then this shaman is not cleansing himself, causing the healer to use more mana on healing him, and he's taking more damage. Finally got 3 mobs, but that's just because he accidentally pulled more, but I wanted him to pull all 3 of those to begin with, like an AoE, because I'm now, and now he's gonna want to keep moving forward, and I'm you know, you just do big pulls. The mage is gonna get aggro on the mobs when they AoE, and while you're fighting for threat back, the healer will be able to top you off. You know, and if the mage throws out a Fire Nova and you're low HP, definitely go and step away for a second so the healer can, you know, catch up on healing. One thing that I noticed that I don't think the shaman did at all, like when I would Frost Nova, he wasn't really stepping away from letting the healer catch up, because I'm only gonna Frost Nova if I have a bunch of aggro or the tank is really low. Or just randomly do it, yeah, you know, fuck what I just said. On hardcore, I fucking almost wiped here. We would pull one mob that would flee into another mob that would chain pull another mob, and then it's like you're trying to only pull 1 or 2, and then you end up pulling 5 here. So this little corner is actually pretty fucking scary on hardcore. But with all the new runes and all the new stuff, I feel like we could have pulled more, and I could have done bigger AoE damage. So it just, you know, you definitely like want to pull when you're dungeon grinding on a shaman tank. You have a bunch of single target DPS, yeah, don't pull very much. Freaking Living Flame the wrong target. I should have Living Flame the druid in the back. Oh, we got a slumber coming out. We got Earthbind down. Still not cleansing his... I don't think he cleanses himself like the whole dungeon. I know he's got poison cleansing because I was on my 19 twink last night and I was cleansing my poisons. So he definitely has poison cleanse, and he's definitely not using it at all. Maybe he just doesn't realize that he's the only one that can cleanse his poison. I'm not sure if druid can, but it is a feral druid, so I wouldn't even expect him to do that anyways. And here, you know, I saw we pulled a whole bunch. Maybe I pulled it. I think he did. So I Living Flame that dude in the back. I backed up to try to pull the mobs back to the shaman, and he's running towards me trying to help me out. I cold snap, but I got no mana. I'm waiting for this druid to Frost Nova. And Wand for days. And here I got a poison, the druid's got a poison, we got a slumber out with a late Will of Forsaken. No cleanses, no trimmers. My OCD is like going off the charts right now with the not cleansing poisons and not laying down that instant trimmer. I mean, you can literally, well, I guess if you have an add-on with classic cast bars, you can literally fucking see them cast slumber. Throw trimmer down is so you don't have to interrupt it, right? You don't have to waste your Earth Shock on interrupting a sleep. You just insta-trimmer, right? Here we go to the other side. I think part of doing a Shaman tank with, you know, you don't have a charge. Since we don't have charge, you just gotta hit that W. Backpedaling is good and if you're a tank in some, you know, uses. But I don't even have backpedal bound on my keyboard, so I can't even do it if I wanted to. That hasn't really, you know, bit me in the ass. Maybe like one time I'm like, yeah, maybe I should keybind backpedal like after like a boss fight, but we end up doing the boss anyways, and I never bind it. Actually, if you look, A is bandage and D is my cannibalize, and on my shaman, A is bandage, shift A is resurrect. What is D? D's nuts? Yeah. I keybind those A and D, and I just use Q, W, and E. Mostly W's, you know. We like the W's around here. And like here he pulled 2 mobs, which pulled the 3rd one, and it's like, dude, just like, if he would have ran up and Earth Shocked that first druid of the thing and walked over to the second druid of the thing, I would have had a way better AoE. I would have done more damage. Priest and the Shaman this whole run are just making my OCD just go off the charts. So, but you know, whether they're a new player or just new to the class, Wailing Caverns new to Horde, and you know, tell them like, yeah, like I know this place like the back of my hand. If just follow me if you know, if you need to. But for the most part, he's actually, you know, doing decent. Can't really complain, but just I can only nitpick, right? So here I wanted him to pull a little bit more. And the thing is with like with a mage in your group, you know, I'm dumping my mana to AoE. It's better for me to do a big AoE pool and then drink. And then do another AoE pool. It's hard to say if, you know, which way is faster. While I drink, you know, that's when you would want to switch to just a, you know, single target. So like here, I can get a drink. We got 1 mob incoming. I know he's just gonna pull that mob and he's not gonna go any further, so I should have just kept drinking. I really wanted him to pull more, but I should have just kept drinking right there. I don't know why I stopped. Here we got another pair of mobs, and I'm like, alright, well, I'll Living Bomb and Wand, I guess. Oh, and Living Flame. Just because I know there's not a huge AoE pool coming up. And we got a single mob pool. And like here, yeah, you just Earth Shock and Flame Shock and keep pressing W. You don't really have to stop for that mob, right? And here, I do need to top off my mana for an AoE pool, but I know he's just like not gonna do that for me, so I'm like, yes, 3 mobs, let's go! There goes my mana. I think the priest is decent. He's, you know, conserving his mana. I mean, he could top off the shaman a little bit more. See right there. See, now he's got to put in big heals on the shaman. You know, if the shaman didn't have aggro on everything, he would definitely be ripping healer aggro. And then he's up here. I'm like, bro, do not pull 4 mobs right now. I got no mana. Potions on cooldown. And we pull. The rogue kicked the slumber because he knows the shaman's probably not going to put Tremor Totem down. I'm like, please don't let me die and lose my buffs. And I didn't die. The chest is garbage. The shaman took it, but I have definitely been in a situation where that chest was an upgrade, so I feel that. The priest said, what the fuck is that damage? I'm like, it's what happens when you pull more than 2 mobs. Here we go, another 2 mob pull. Let's go. Sick. So here you want to Urshock the first lightning bolt and walk it over to the other dude because they don't move. Those venom wing things just don't move. Just checking for the rare, don't see it. We end up going this way. Whatever. It's the long way around. It could have went to the right. Going over here is an easy way to complete one of the quests where you need the Dread Fangs. There's typically some Dread Fangs over here, and that's typically the one that if you go the fastest way through the dungeon, you may not kill enough to complete the quest. And I tell him to go watch my Shaman guide. Let's be real. This Shaman's first issue is he's using a shield, right? Lava Lash is so good, so mana efficient. Double Rock Biter, and then at this level, I have 2 accounts so I can carry myself and get Chamois Rage. So I'll be running Chamois Rage and dual wielding. Chamois Rage 20% damage reduction when it's activated. I'm letting them know it's a dual wielding tanking guide and not a shield. I think he did at some point mention that, you know, he's going based off of Wowhead. So if you're from Wowhead, hit me up. I would love to help out with the Shaman guides. Letting them know how scuffed my guide is. Alright. The priest is like level 16, so he is pretty low. So I bet you, you know, if the priest was like level 20, probably wouldn't have had any deaths on this dungeon. Oh yeah, the rogue plays a shaman, and he was asking me if he can, you know, parse on his shaman tank without heavy dynamite. And I'm pretty sure you can get 99 without heavy dynamite. That heavy dynamite just adds that little bit more to your parse when you're up, you know, fighting for one of the top ranks. When you're doing 200 DPS, an extra 10 DPS from your heavy dynamite goes a long way on the ranks. That'll definitely boost your rank up definitely a few ranks. And then these two Druid of the Fang, I like to pull back around this little corner where I am right now. Just so they don't run into the boss and aggro. Oh, and look at that. No trimmer. And he play in the rogue plays Shaman too, so he's probably like just as OCD about the trimmer as I am. And then this boss is immune to Earth Shock. So the key to keeping aggro on this boss is pressing W into the boss. You know, staying ahead of the group. This boss is a perfect example of you're not gonna keep aggro unless you're like pulling the boss, waiting for everybody else to kind of catch back up. Just to get that little bit of threat generation lead. I mean, honestly, if he's dual wielding, you're just not gonna have any issues with threat. Double rock biter, lava lash is just so much threat generation. It's actually insane. We got the rogue pulling in the back and the shaman pulling up front. Classic Andes at their finest. Here's a little skip we did. Dang, dude, you're almost at a 1K subscribers, dude. Yo, go subscribe to Big Cuz TV. Get him that 1K subscribers. Oh, here we go. The healer got slept, and I'm like, bro, you like, I had to say trimmer this time. Like, I couldn't let that one slide. And this pool is fucking. This pool was not very good. We just kept pulling more and more and more. The priest is Everybody has aggro except the shaman. The shaman's if he was dual wielding with lava lash, it'd be way easier for him to get aggro on this dread fang. But since he's and using a shield, he couldn't get that aggro back. There he goes. I'm so and I would, you know, I would be dual wielding Shaman Rage on trash. All right, slumber. Oh, and the rogue kicked it because he knows that shaman probably ain't gonna pop down trimmer. And like I said, I would have just trimmered Wailing Caverns. Definitely the first dungeon where shamans have to use their trimmer totem, so, you know, I keep that in mind and not salty or mad at him. Just, he's just showing his true colors, you know what I mean? In here, I like to pull this whole room and pull it back in LOS behind the wall. Group them all up for, you know, in case a mage is trying to AoE, like I am. And then you don't normally pull that extra Dread Fang. Now we got 2 Dread Fangs. People are probably about to start getting feared, and guess what? No trimmer totems. Just kidding. Nobody got feared. Alright, we're chilling. Because we all know that trimmer was not coming down. So, Shaman's pulling this one. And then I help him out by pulling these other 2 to the left of the boss. And he totally did not let them pull back far enough. And we end up aggroing the boss on the right. because he like I'm going back here to pull him back, and what does the shaman do? Run towards him and aggro. That is not what you want to do. I mean, it doesn't really matter. We're in Wailing Caverns. There we go. We got aggro. We got one slumber going out, and he put Tremor Totem down that time because he realized that we just, you know, overpooled, and we got 2 slumbers going out. So we finally got the instant Tremor Totem. I felt a relief when he did that. Like, you know, you just got to give him credit where credit's due. Tremor's still down, so you can either recast it, which I would, because that's just me. But it's a 4-second timer, so every 4 seconds it'll do its thing. Now watch the shaman's HP. I want to say, you know, if the priest was a little bit higher level, he probably wouldn't have died. So I can't really say it's his fault. This boss does a lot of damage. I would still dual wield. I just leave it up to the healer to keep me alive. Healers get by, you know, too easily. You got to give them some sort of challenge, you know. There we go. Sorry for the slow run. First time tanking right there at the last boss. Perfect time to say it. You know, and I don't really like typing. So like, I think if the shaman would have said that at the start of the dungeon and been willing to join Discord with me, ooh, this run would have been so good. I would have guided him to fucking victory, right? I would have given him all the fucking inside knowledge on Shaman. I mean, he's got to have dual wielding, right? Like, you don't need the dual wielding specialization from Ratchet, like the level 20 rune, the chest rune. Like, you don't need the hit rating from it to do the low level dungeons and level up. So the chest rune just like doesn't even matter. I think shield mastery, just in case you want to put a shield on for either mana regeneration, which is not much, or, you know, to mitigate damage, is what I was using until I got the dual wielding rune. But you know, I didn't really use the shield at all leveling up, because why would you use the shield when dual wielding's cooler? And then another thing to think about when you're dual wield shaman tanking is, do I need a shield? Is this a heavy melee damage fight? Or is it a, you know, are they casting spells and not doing any melee damage at all? Why would you need a shield? Because, like, I've had, like, one shaman, like, oh, I can't get mana back on Elris with my shield. I'm like, yeah. Have you looked at your damage taken? There's no melee damage on that fight. It's all spells. So if you're using a shield on Kelris, like, you're just not doing it right. Alright, so here at the end, I'm like, alright, which side are you gonna aggro, Shaman? Alright, well, everyone's going over to that side. I'll go over to this side, pull all these. I should have saved my Living Flame for the next group of mobs, but fuck it. We sent it here. I said butt. Yep. You heard it. You heard it right. You heard it here first. Yeah, so this is the moment I was like, shit, probably should have saved my Living Flame. Oh well. I'm like, yes, finally get to AOE. Feels good. Yeah, I'm actually gonna watch his threat generation. Yeah, he has a decent threat generation. He would have more if he was dual wielding though. Like his threat would just be off the charts. Threat per second is what you want as a tank. That way your other DPS can pump hard. Know what I mean? And there we go. I was so relieved for this run to be over and my OCD to chill out. I won something already and I won those bracers, so I gave it to the priest. That way I wasn't just fucking robbing all the loot. And GG's. I'm like, hopefully the shaman goes watch my video and comes back, dual wield ticket. Maybe we'll message him.